Gavin, talk about your father.
I was very blessed and am very blessed to have been raised by Robert William Fry. Of all the people who have ever been on the planet that I've encountered, he's the one that climbed into the deeper folds of my heart. He always loved and adored me, and I always knew it from my earliest memories. He always supported me in whatever I was passionate about or wanted to do. When I was 18, he got cancer. They took a large growth out of his abdomen and they gave him 6 months to live. They said there was nothing that they could do. Interestingly, he was quite determined to live a long time, and he ended up lasting 19 years. So initially when he was diagnosed, I took off school, I took off work. I was going to be with him in his final months. He lasted 19 years. He and I went to college together. He and I rode motorcycles together. He and I did transformational workshops together. My dad, when I was facilitating large groups of people and doing deep work, my dad would be assisting and supporting me. So we were like brothers. There was one time out in the desert when my dad had diabetes. So whenever we would ride motorcycles and go for a 2 or 3 hour ride, he would bring food, because if he didn't have food in a timely way, he could go into insulin shock. So this particular time we were out and we got lost, and it started to get dark. And in the desert, it gets dark and it gets cold. And interestingly enough, he forgot to bring his food. So it got so dark we had to lay the motorcycles down, because it would have been unsafe to try to ride them. We would have hurt ourselves. My dad started to panic. He started to freak out. He was he wasn't an anxious man, but in this case, he was afraid he was going to die. And for some reason, as he was freaking out, very, very anxious, calm swept over me. And some part of me, I wasn't just reassuring him falsely. Some part of me said, Dad, I know where the truck is. It's this way. And we started to go toward the truck, and he started to calm down, because he heard the knowing in my voice, the confidence that I knew where the truck was. And it took us about 15 minutes, but we got back to the truck, and then he ate. And I think he had always concluded from that I had somehow been involved in him being able to continue living, like I'd saved his life in some way. I don't know if that's true, but from then on, I was the one that was like the older brother. I was the son taking care of the father. Everything we did when we would ride motorcycles, prior to that, he would always ride behind me, protecting me, making sure I was safe. After that incident, we reversed roles. So for the rest of his life, I had his back. But that was an initiation type experience that took place with my dad inside of me, where I came into a place of surprising intuitive knowing, and I trusted it. And that has only grown, that sense. It helps me in my counseling work with others. It helps me in how I guide my life. Thankfully, there's a very powerful knowing inside that I've cultivated a relationship with. But that's where it birthed itself consciously in my life.